John, I need you to demonstrate for us that incredible knife move in the trailer.
But I want sharp knives, Anupama, because I can't do it without knives that are sharp. There's a shot in the film which has become very popular in the trailer, where I'm actually, getting this guy, I'm puncturing his vital organs. With the knife, I just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I take his nerves out here, 6, and I take his leg here and I slam his nerve out. So basically what I'm doing is I'm making sure that I've punctured his heart, his plexus, both, because all your nerve ends happen on your feet. So I'm puncturing both his feet and I'm taking out the nerves from behind his knee. So if there is any chance of survival, that doesn't exist. I make sure that it's over for him in probably 5 or 7 or 8 seconds. That he just lie there and go off with blood loss. Because I'm going to slam hard into you.
Hi, don't do that, John. You're scaring me.
No, genuinely. I'm going to slam hard. So it's basically just I'm coming here.
Can you do it without the knife?
Yeah, you can do it without the knife also.
Okay.
It's just
Hi.
this. That actually didn't hurt.
John, don't. You're too strong.
No, but that didn't hurt him. So the minute I hit him here,
No, it's hurting him.
it's not hurting him.
How do I need to react to this?
I mean,
Just have to stand over.
no. So basically, you just have to stand because most of the reactions are going to happen like this.
Okay.
There's going to be no time for you to even do ha. That happens in old Hindi films. Just put your hands down, Ankit, and just close your eyes. 1 second. Just close your eyes. Yeah. Don't worry about it. Just close your eyes. 1 second. Let me just see. Is this? You don't. Why are you reacting? Don't do this. Is this hurting you?
No.
It's not hurting you, no? I'm going to slam it really hard.
Okay.
But just move back. Are you okay? Are you comfortable doing this? If you're not, then just say no because you don't really need to do this.
You don't need to.
Okay, so can you
Avoid it.
Do
huh?
it.
Yeah.
Avoid it?
I mean, avoid the knives.
And avoid the knives.
So this is what most heroes say. I'm joking. Anyway. This is what, I'm joking. I mean, I can't really perform this here right now.
Right.
Because we don't have the requisite
Correct.
knives.
We don't have the knives.
And when I did it with the guy I did it with is the guy who actually fought with Tony Jaa in Ongbak.
Okay.
The guy opposite me.
Right.
So the way he reacted to those knives is so perfect. If you see him, he just moved exactly at that point where he didn't feel the pressure on his nerves. So Ankit's just joined you.
Yes.
I'm not going to practice this on him.
Please don't.
Because there are viewers that are watching it. All I can say is I just give Ankit a big hug and tell him that listen, it's easier to be a romantic hero, and do this. And it's easier to do this.
Let's do that.
Yeah, that's easier, right? Yeah.
John, thanks for letting us shoot in this amazing space. What is it?
So this is actually, we're sitting on a water tank and my brother and my father made this water tank into what we call the outhouse. And this is where I have most of my meetings and I'm very honored to have you here. So I can boast and tell people Anupama Chopra was sitting there.
That's right.
So
That's right, I'm sure.
I really enjoy spending all my time here. And most of my creative juices
Flow here.
flow here.
Above the water tank.
Above the water tank. Perfect, right? Perfect.
John, this business of the movies is so much about youth and beauty and looking a certain way. That aging is brutal for everyone. But I was thinking how much more brutal must it be for somebody who's an action star? Because we expect you to be a man of steel till you become Sylvester Stallone's age. How tough is it?
I think the two ways that you need to look at it, Anupama. If you look at Stallone, you look at Bruce Willis, you look at Arnold Schwarzenegger, you look at The Rock. These guys are your biggest action stars. The other kind of action stars are your Jet Li and your Jackie Chan, which is very kung fu, karate, backflips. I belong to the former. What those stars have is attitude. You'll have a Bruce Willis with a cigarette in his mouth saying, go ahead, make my day. Or you'll have Arnold Schwarzenegger saying, I'll be back. Is they haven't done as much action as they've shown their attitude. And I think that's what makes an action star. And I always say this, the action is here. It's not here. As cliche as it sounds, you need to be big. You need to be tough. You need to be like a tank. You don't run into one of these guys. If I'm 6 feet 2 inches and I'm 94 kilos, it should be difficult for someone to think that he's going to run into me and get away with it. Today, when my general audience talks to me in this country, they say, "Oh, force ki jo body hai na, John bhai, it's always force ki body." Or they'll say shoot out at Badala mein jo aap bus se bahar nikle na bhai. It's always about that feel and that look. They want to see that man.
John, I know you idolize Sylvester Stallone, and I read this interview that GQ did with him a couple of years ago. And they asked him, what's the hardest thing about being an action star? And he said the hardest thing is trying not to believe that you're expendable, trying to convince yourself that you're actually making an artistic and sort of a viable contribution to cinema. Do you ever think about that? Do you think you're making a viable artistic contribution?
It's a good question. I still think I'm too young as an actor and even younger as a producer to really think whether I've made any kind of impactful contribution. But what I can say is that I am trying to make an effort to make a contribution. The way I am doing it is because as an actor, I didn't really get to do the films I wanted to. Films like Water, Kabul Express, No Smoking made me very happy. And I think I am where I am because of the choices I made. They failed. They absolutely failed during their time, but I think they were smart choices because I positioned myself in the mind of my audience, saying that this guy really wants to do something different. And because I couldn't get to do so much of that, I decided that maybe it's best to become a producer and make the kind of films you really want to see, which is why I did a Wiki Donor and I did a Madras Cafe through my productions. So I believe that there's an effort to make a contribution. Am I making that contribution is a question that still needs to be answered.
John, the one line I remember from the Rocky Handsome trailer is "Zakhmi sher ka shikar nahi karte."
Yeah.
And I read a lot about how you were literally a Zakhmi sher while you're making this movie. You
Yeah.
were hurt and in pain. And so, is there any point at which you said to yourself, you know what, no film is worth this?
I asked myself after my training, I went to Thailand to train, and you've seen the knife fights in the film, etc. And the knives were blunt, but every time I got jabbed, it hurt at that point of time. But in the heat of the moment, you're training, etc. In the evening, when I used to come back to the room, and I used to have a shower, I used to feel the pain and the burn because I had cuts, especially on the back. And if, you wouldn't notice now, but if you see my back, it's pretty broad.
Yes, it is. No, we notice.
So it used to open up. The skin used to open up, and I thought to myself, and I said, why am I doing this? And the answer was always, I love doing this. This is sweet pain. I'm enjoying this. I'm not being stupid about this.
So there's no shortcut to this.
It's difficult. I mean, for example, in Rocky Handsome, there's a portion where I'm bare and I'm doing the Tai Chi, and I'm just, that was meant to be with a t-shirt on. Just before the shot, Nishi said, John, I think it'll look better, the way we've lit it, it'll look better if you take the t-shirt off. And that's what you saw. So you didn't really prepare for that body. The body is there 365 days a year. But I think to get extraordinary results, you have to do extraordinary things. That's very important. There's no way you're going to get it. Hard work is the shortest cut to success. And success for me is creating a benchmark for yourself and getting there. I mean, look at me in the film industry. There have always been questions on A, male model, B, can you act? Can you do this? Can you do that? I've passed a particular stage. I've become a producer. People ask questions, can he produce? Then you produce the kind of films you do. Then people say, okay, fine. He had success as an actor. He has had success as a producer. Now what? So the questions are always going to be asked. And it's absolutely fair. It's absolutely fair. I don't look at it negatively. I think it's constructive criticism, and I need to be asked these questions because that's the only thing that's going to drive me. If I become comfortable and I'm told that I'm the best guy around, I'll hang up my boots, I'll leave, I'll retire.
You'll have some carbs.
Yeah, I'll have some carbs there.
Sounds terrific. Thank you,
It's a
John.
lot of fun.
Thank you. And you heard it here. Do not try this at home, please. Right?
Absolutely. I mean, unless you want to join MasterChef. Don't try this.
Thank you.
If you like this interview with Anupama Chopra, then subscribe to Film Companion and click the link below. Watch Film Companion.